Hey everyone, buckle up because we've got some massive news that could shake up global trade. Imagine this, the world's largest economy, the United States, and the UK joining forces for a blockbuster trade deal that's got everyone talking. Could this be the game changer we've all been waiting for? Let's dive into the details and unpack what's happening, why it matters, and what it means for you. Recently, U.S. Vice-President JD Vance dropped a bombshell in his first major interview with a European outlet since taking office. He's signaling that the Trump administration is ready to put the UK at the front of the line for a major trade agreement. Now, this isn't just about slashing tariffs, though that's part of it. We're talking about a deal that could cover everything from goods like cars and steel to services like banking and tech. It's a big deal, folks, and it's got the potential to reshape economies on both sides of the Atlantic. Vance didn't hold back in expressing the Trump administration's affection for the UK. He even gave a shout out to the British government and, get this, the royal family. He said the US is working closely with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer's team to hammer out an agreement that serves the best interests of both nations. According to Vance, there's a good chance this deal could come to fruition, and that's got people on both sides of the pond buzzing with excitement. But why is this happening now? Well, the US and UK have a special relationship. Think shared history, language, and values. Vance made it clear that the UK is a priority for the Trump administration when it comes to trade. Unlike some other European countries, which he criticized for not pulling their weight on things like military spending, the UK is seen as a trusted partner. He singled out Britain, Poland, and France as exceptions in Europe. But let's just say he wasn't as warm and fuzzy about the rest of the continent. Ouch! Now let's zoom in on what this trade deal could mean. Lowering tariffs is a big part of it. For those who don't know, tariffs are taxes slapped on goods crossing borders, and they can make things like cars, clothes, or even your favorite snacks more expensive. A deal that cuts tariffs could mean cheaper products for consumers in both countries. But it's not just about goods. Services like financial consulting, streaming platforms, or even legal advice could flow more freely too. That's huge for businesses and could create jobs and boost economies. Here's where it gets interesting. UK government sources are saying talks with the US have been making good progress. That's diplomatic speak for things are heating up. The UK's been working hard to secure its economic future, especially after Brexit shook things up. Leaving the EU meant the UK had to forge its own trade path, and a deal with the US could be a massive win. Imagine British companies getting easier access to the American market or American tech giants setting up shop in London. It's the kind of stuff that gets economists giddy. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Trade deals are tricky, they take time, and there's a lot of back and forth. Sarah Jones, the UK's Minister for Industry, gave us a glimpse into how things are going. She didn't spill all the tea, but she did say that officials are on the ground and having lots of conversations with their U.S. counterparts. Her colleague, Business Secretary Johnny Reynolds, is also in the mix, working the phones to make this happen. Jones sounded cautiously optimistic, saying she's hoping for a good outcome, but doesn't want to jinx it. Smart move, Sarah. Now let's talk about why this matters beyond the headlines. Trade deals aren't just about numbers, they affect real people. Take steel, for example. Jones mentioned the UK's steel industry, which has been struggling. Over the past decade, steel production in the UK has halved. That's not a typo. Half. But there's hope on the horizon. Demand for steel is climbing, thanks to projects like building 1.5 million new homes, expanding Heathrow Airport, and even a new theme park in Bedford. Plus, clean energy projects, like wind farms and solar panels, need steel too. A trade deal with the US could open doors for UK steelmakers, giving them a bigger market to sell to. Speaking of steel, let's detour to Scunthorpe, a town in the UK that's been in the news. The blast furnaces there need raw materials like coal and steel to keep running, and Jones gave an update that's got locals breathing a sigh of relief. The government's paid the bills for shipments, and things are in a steady state for now. But the bigger picture is about the future. The UK's pledged a £2.5 billion fund to support its steel industry. That's billion with a B. The goal? Reverse the decline and make sure the UK's steel sector thrives. A U.S. trade deal could supercharge those efforts by making it easier to export steel across the Atlantic. But it's not all smooth sailing. Trade deals always have critics, and this one's no exception. Some worry about what the U.S. might demand in return. Could American companies push for looser regulations in the UK? Might British farmers face competition from U.S. agriculture giants? These are the kinds of questions swirling around Westminster and Washington. And then there's the rest of Europe, which isn't exactly thrilled about the UK getting cozy with the US. Let's cross the channel for a moment and get a European perspective. Anthony Innenberg, Director General of the Federation for German Wholesale and Foreign Trade, had some thoughts on Vance's comments. Vance suggested the UK has an edge over other European countries because of its reciprocal relationship with the US. He also took a swipe at Germany, saying it's too dependent on exporting to the US while being tough on American businesses. Innenberg pushed back, arguing that the trade balance between the US and Europe is more even than people think. He pointed out that while Germany exports a lot of goods, like cars, to the US, American companies dominate in services, like tech and digital platforms. Innenberg also weighed in on Brexit. Remember those 10% tariffs the US slapped on the UK and the 20% ones on the EU? Well, the EU's back to 10% now too, so the playing field's a bit more level. Still, Innenberg thinks the UK's historical ties with the US give it a unique position. But he's not convinced Brexit was a net positive for the UK in this case. The EU's a massive market, and size matters in trade talks. Still, those transatlantic bonds, think shared language and culture, can't be ignored. Then there's the question of how Europe's handling the Trump administration. The EU's Ursula von der Leyen came out swinging, threatening reciprocal tariffs if the US played hardball. Some wondered if that was too aggressive, but Innenberg thinks it was the right move. He said the EU had to take a tough stance to get the US to the table. Now, with the EU dialing back its tariff threats, there's a window for negotiations. It's like a high-stakes poker game, and everyone's watching to see who blinks first. So where does this leave us? The US-UK trade deal is a big opportunity, but it's not a done deal yet. Both sides are talking, and the vibe is positive, but there's still a lot to iron out. For the UK, it's a chance to boost its economy, support industries like steel, and show the world it's thriving post-Brexit. For the US, it's about strengthening ties with a key ally and opening new markets for American businesses. Here's the bottom line. This deal could be a win-win, but it's going to take work. If it happens, it could mean cheaper goods, more jobs, and stronger ties between two nations that already share a lot. But if it stalls, it could leave both sides frustrated. Either way, we're keeping our eyes peeled, and we'll bring you the latest as it unfolds. What do you think about this potential trade deal? Are you excited about what it could mean for the UK and US, or do you have concerns? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next update. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.